We're live now.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today?
Can they see me right now?
Ooh, wait a second. Oh, I'm not going live. We're live on. Yeah, I know it says live, but I just got a note that says failed to post on Facebook. Here's what Facebook said: you're temporarily restricted from doing things like posting until January 23rd. Yep, they got me.
Huh. Actually, that's what you get for hanging out with me.
I'm telling you what. Hey, Chris, grab my phone right now. We're live on YouTube, but we're not live on. And I'm also recording this, so I'll fix their little red wagons. I'll post it as a recording.
There you go. There you go.
Go to my Facebook page on my phone and say that Facebook is restricting my live on the post I made about Brad, and go to my YouTube page, and you should be able to scroll down. She's got to bring me the phone. She can't operate it.
Can they see me right now, Mike?
No, they can't
hear me.
No, they can hear you.
Okay.
They can't see you.
Hi, everybody.
But what you might want to do is we can go live on mine.
Yeah, I could have added that in, but it didn't add. I didn't do it. Okay, let's see here. You can. Oh, you can't share it.
You want to tell them that you're going to start over? Pull a Brad.
Well, see, the thing is, it ain't even live on Facebook. But I tell you what, I can't. Well, it might get you.
It's fine. I mean,
okay, hold on. I got comments going on. Let's see here. I was looking for you today, but not on Facebook. Hello from Utah. Okay, we're live on YouTube. We're good on YouTube, so I'm just going to tell everybody to go to YouTube. So I apologize, everybody. Facebook got me because they don't like Brad Barton, which is a good sign. So Facebook has kicked me off. I can't go live. How you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Catch me on YouTube. Of course, they'll get me there too next. They're coming after me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, cheating suckers. Where's my YouTube doohickey?
I'm telling you what, dude, I'm so sick of liberals I could puke.
Well, we're playing ball on their field, so we got to follow their rules.
Yep, but that's all going to change soon.
They don't like you very much.
No, they hate me.
Where's it at? Where's that? Where's it at? I can put this on Rumble too. So, oh shoot, I'm not finding it. I'm so blind I can't see what I'm doing. As we're live, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize about all this. Let me just go back over here, back to Facebook. I don't know if it even commented. Chris, would you make a post on my page from your phone? Tell them that I'm on YouTube. I've got 10 people watching on YouTube thus far. Can't promote it, but that's okay. We're live with Brad. This is Mike Cook coming to you live from Central Missouri. It's approximately 7:14 at night. A bunch of delaying going on, a bunch of garbage going on. I will post this everywhere because it's everything I do is recorded through the third-party system that I use. Grab yourself a steaming hot cup of coffee. Enjoy the day. We got a lot to talk about. And it didn't work out how I wanted it to work out. The mighty Facebook, the Zuck bot got me. Get a big swig of that and get ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you a good friend of mine. I've actually known him for years. I don't know if he remembers me, but we met a long time ago, and he's been rocking this thing as far as the Trump stuff. He's been crazy. And I get a lot of good information from him. He's got a lot of sources and information, and a good team put together that really puts it out there. Let me introduce you to Brad Barton. And how you doing today, Brad?
Hey, buddy.
Now we got all the technical issues sort of figured out. They're squashing me on Facebook like they are you.
That's because you're hanging around me. I'm bad influence.
Woo! I got banned.
Yep. Welcome to my world, Yost. Like you said on Remember the Titans.
That's right. Hey, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, they're banning everybody. And it's about time that we move around and find someplace else to go. So make sure you check me out on Rumble. There's me on Rumble. There's me on MeWe, although they're kicking conservatives off MeWe now. There's me on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, ring the bell. Make sure you Rumble me if you're on Rumble. This is my Parler account if they ever get Parler back up. So we're going to roll with this, and I'll share it to these suckers. They won't let me go live, but I got news for them. I bet you I can still get 1,000 people to watch it, even if it's recorded.
There you go.
My lives have been getting 20,000 views every time. So anyways, so Brad, so what's happening? Where are we at right now? I know that you put a video out, went all over Facebook. Everybody and their brother was sharing it to me about conversation that you had. Was it with the generals, or was it somebody else had?
Well, it wasn't just me. It was a lot of people. I was on one mic about a week or so ago, maybe 10 days, with General McInerney, General Paul Vallely, I think that's his name. I can't ever get his name right. He's a retired general. These are retired generals. And I got a lot of people commenting on there. Well, how are you on there with the generals? They're not going to tell you what. Well, I didn't say they were active, moron. Okay, sorry, I'm being myself here.
That's okay. Go ahead.
These people are so stupid. These are retired generals that are in the know. And no, they don't know everything, but they're not privy to top secret stuff anymore, but they're in the know. And so, no, I was on there with a lot of other people. It's not like I had some inside connection. But I was privy to be on there. And then the one I missed that I didn't know about, they had a couple of days ago. And but they sent me basically the cliff notes of it. And that's what I was sharing last night on the live.
Well, you want to talk about some of the points, some of the highlights of the cliff notes of what that was, what was going on, what was discussed?
Sure. Well, I mean, basically, they just said and I'll just try to hit some highlights here because there is a lot to it. Okay.
Oops, hit the wrong button. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That guy looks better than me. Okay.
Yeah, well.
All right. So, but anyway, they were just saying everyone's upset, with the that there's been nobody's, Trump hadn't pulled the trigger on stuff yet. And, and basically what they said was they just wanted to reassure us that, make no mistake, the president will do whatever is necessary to defend the Constitution. And there's a plan in place. We've got to be patient. Okay. And that's, I ran out of patience a long time ago. I used to tell, kids when I taught school, God only gives me so much patience a week and I'm out. And that'd be on like Tuesday. That'd be on like Tuesday. Okay. All right. So that's the problem with all of America. We have no patience. So you just got to wait, but as far as, there's 25,000 troops in DC right now, maybe even up to 40,000. I'm hearing is what's going to be.
I'm hearing a lot too.
And of course I heard last night. In fact, I saw something on somewhere that it was basically a recording. It showed the Capitol grounds and it showed they're in kind of a curfew, and it said you've got to be off the grounds by 1800 hours or you will be arrested. They will open
that
back
video. If I thought about it, I'd have put it on there.
They said we'll open back up at 0600 hours, but 1800 hours. It's all military talk, as you can see, obviously. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and for people to say that this is to protect Joe Biden from the crazy Trump supporters, I mean, come on, man. He's had 600 rallies in the last 4 years, and we haven't had any problem whatsoever. If anybody's going to be protected, if we're protecting them from anybody, it's these crazy idiots out here burning the towns down and burning buildings down and acting a fool.
Right. They're there to what potentially can happen. And of course, the media spin it as if it's the right-wing hillbilly rednecks with their Keystone Light and their rebel flags going to come up there and cause some problems for Joe Biden. That's the way they're spinning it. But that's not the case, because that's not us.
No, that's not us. Now, there's a part of me that like to, but no, that's not us. We
want to do things right, we don't want to run. But you're right. There's sometimes you're like going, oh man, I oughta, but you don't want to do that stuff. Was there any details given? I mean, everyone wants to know I
Well,
mean, when's it going to happen? Why don't they pull
right.
the trigger? Why don't something be done? It's like, come on, man. It's been driving me nuts for 2 months.
I think and this is just my personal opinion here, but I'll tell you this. In fact, I'm gonna go through this with you a little bit on what we talked about. But the generals are saying also the same thing I said a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm just guesstimating. I mean, they know more. Obviously, they're in the know. But I told people a week ago that I think this is going down to the wire. Man, this is the Super Bowl, and it's going down to the last play. Okay, the last 30 seconds of the game. This is a barn burner, and I don't think Trump would have it any other way.
Right down to the last minute. I made the analogy in one of my posts about spades and having the trump cards, and that would be in this particular case the ace. And you don't play that as your first card. You wait till the very end, because then you can do the most damage. You can break the most hearts with that card. When you can play a lot of spades, you know what I'm talking about, especially when I was in the military. Oh, so you was talking about my wife says, yeah, but you don't have any mercy on me. That's what she just said. So you were talking about that video of what was
the curfew.
Of the curfew. Go ahead and play that, Chris. I had her pull that up real quick.
Okay, wow.
Attention, a curfew is in effect at 1800 hours until 600 hours tomorrow. All individuals must leave the U.S. Capitol grounds or be subject to arrest. I repeat, a curfew is in effect at 1800 hours until 600 hours tomorrow. All individuals must leave the U.S. Capitol grounds or be subject to arrest.
Now that is like out of a movie, in my opinion. You don't expect to see that in the United States of America, but here we are. So,
somebody made the comment, said it sounded awful lot like that voice in Nashville saying, "Get away, get away." I don't know about that, but
yeah. I saw a post. I think it was Lynn Wood said on that one that he acted alone, but he did a pretty good impression of a British accent, female British accent, when he put the microphone up, the loudspeaker up. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. So
yeah. Hey, Mike, another thing that they talked about was the blackouts that have occurred over in the Vatican. I saw that with my own eyes. Obviously,
I saw that one
through
too.
the computer.
Right, I saw that one too.
And Pakistan and Iran, and they said what that is that's our Space Force taking them out. Our Space Force somehow
probably cyber, not kinetic weapons, but actual typing in the computer, doing some kind of weird.
Yeah, they said basically it's cyber warfare, where we got satellites that knock out communications and data centers. And if you ever wondered why Space Force was instituted by POTUS a while back, it wasn't just about going to Mars. It's about this, and so it's a big deal. Let me scroll here on my notes here. Forgive me here. I don't know them by heart.
While you're scrolling on your notes, one of the things I read today is that Space Force has actually been around as Space Command for a long time, and it did the cyber stuff, and it's all been part of its purvey. They just kind of rolled it into its own thing, and then they placed that run underneath Ezra Cohen Wattrick, the Special Forces stuff, which I thought was interesting. So
they said the Space Force has been around since Donald Rumsfeld,
right,
with Bush, and they said they were going to announce it. And the day before they announced, or something like that, the day before 9/11 is when it was announced or something. And $2 trillion went missing, and that was what it was about. It was creating this.
I saw that too. It's kind of linking things together. There's been so many things happening that's kind of like scatterbrained. It's like, what is going on this planet right now? But so what were you saying before your notes?
It said, the POTUS will be getting in front of the people to introduce the evidence, so the people know he is the real elected president, which we all know. He may have to use the emergency alert system to do this in 2 to 3 days. Now, they didn't give any dates or anything, but, and as they said, that some of this can be disinformation given to us on purpose, because we know that the bad guys are listening into this stuff as well.
Correct. I'm sure they're listening to us.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. They got that's what somebody said. Brad, you can tell them the bad guys. I don't think too many people listening to Brad's little talk show. I don't think worry about that. But you know, the other thing is what Pompeo did the other day on the Voice of America. That was a test to see if they could get the word out. And I've never heard of Voice of America. I thought it was odd. I didn't really understand what his point of all of that was. His speech, it was lovely. It was good. But what was the point of it? And now they're saying that he was testing it out, and they've tested it, and it went to like 200 countries and 40 different languages. It was interpreted immediately and spit back out, I guess, is his voice.
Well, that's interesting. So it could be just all over the world.
Yeah, so big tech won't be able to stop it, is what they're saying.
Right. There was one of the last tweets that Trump put out. He said, America has a great voice, and great voice was all capitalized. Yep. And then someone did the research and pulled up a DARPA program called Great Voice.
That's right.
That allows them to just about anything that receives a signal, commandeer that. So, I mean, they have a friend of mine who's in the Marine Corps says that when he was over in Fallujah, that I think it was Fallujah, someplace over there playing G.I. Joe, he said that they would drive up in Humvees, and the Humvees would emit a signal, and it would jam all communications in that vicinity. Just with a Humvee, they just drive up, boom, and nobody can talk on anything except for them. Wow. They put it on their stuff. So, I mean, if they can do that, what else can they do? You know, that's just one little old Humvee with whatever they can cram inside of there.
Right.
So it's
they also, Mike, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm supposed to be interviewing
you. They just
said,
hey, don't believe the media. It's all optics, the general said. And again, you have to understand it's important in a war to draw your enemy out in the open. And that's exactly what the president has been doing, especially if you look at it over the last 2 weeks here. He's been separating the wheat from the chaff.
Yes,
and the goats from the sheep. And, understand also that the election on our country, the election was cyber warfare on our country. Just as like if they landed here with boats or whatever and got us with guns, it's the same thing. And so now this has moved from a constitutional voting issue to a national security issue. And again, they said COVID was a biological attack on our country to shut our economy down, to push the mail-in ballots. All of this was pre-planned. We know that now. And and basically they said the generals and in fact, okay, here's a big point. The General Flynn and the generals encouraged us all as patriots to resist all across this country. Take off your mask, go to church, open your business. They can't stop us when we all resist. There's not enough jail cells. They can't put us in. They can't hold everybody. Okay.
Right.
And those were our orders to get the message out to the people. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's what Flynn and the other generals said.
Well, I'll tell you, when they tried to pass the rules here in my little town in sleepy central Missouri, the city rose up. They had a very loud hearing, and they went ahead and passed their mask mandate, but we convinced the elected politicians not to enforce it, so nobody wore a mask. So, so they had a rule, but nobody enforced it, and so nobody wore a mask. Well, a lot of people wear masks because they want to, which I'm fine with. Wear a mask if you want to, but we effectively beat back the ordinance with a fine and everything else. So if you stand up and resist, you can peacefully.
Yeah, well, this is something that has really divided people, because they'll say, well, you don't know until you have somebody dies from it or whatever. Okay, I understand all that. I've had some. In fact, I knew a girl back home in Louisiana where I grew up. She was a year younger than me, and she died supposedly from it. But most of the people that have died have been elderly or people with comorbidities or whatever they want to call it. And it is what it is. My family, we've all had it. Okay, on both sides of my family side and my wife's side, and it is what it is. I mean,
right.
It's just not. You're not going to make me wear a mask that doesn't work. But if you want to wear one, knock yourself out. But
right,
when you start trying to tell me what I'm going to do, that's where it stops.
Absolutely, yeah. That's it's about liberty. It's about choosing your own choice. I mean, if your doctor says for you to wear a mask, then you probably ought to wear a mask. But short of that, I'm not going to listen to anybody tell me what to do. And that's because that's why we're both self-employed.
That's the beauty of it.
That's right. You know, I told somebody the other day I'd fire myself, but then I'd have to do all the work. So
that's right. You better believe it.
I had a question that totally just blew my mind. What I was going to ask, but let me just not to interrupt your train of thought or anything, but I want to run a couple things by you that had come just late breaking information, basically, that is kind of blowing my mind right now. Just get what you think about this. So I'm going to throw a couple of shots up on the screen here. This says, now it is time. Italian
not the
angry.
time.
Yeah, now is not the time. Sorry. It's real small on my screen and I'm real blind. Italians angry and perplexed as government teeters. So they got the Italian government teetering. You've got Estonia. I'm not sure where that is. Government collapses over corruption investigation. This is today. These all came out today. Government in Netherlands resigns after benefit scandal. Russian government resigns as Vladimir Putin plans future. These are all what they call that, parliamentary systems. So those are the these. Well, that one right there, I didn't want to put that one up yet. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, I guess is his name, and his entire cabinet resigns over child welfare scandal. So that's 5 countries right there just this evening.
Hey, but this is Anderson Cooper from CNN. That's been in the works for a long time.
Okay.
5 countries fall every day. It's no big deal.
Yeah, well, okay. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, how stupid do they think people are?
So I saw all that hitting as I was preparing for this with you today, hoping to go live on Facebook, but that evidently didn't work out. And I'm going, wow, that's something. So, but is that in line with what you've been told, that things like that were going to happen?
Well, I don't know. I can't say that I've heard that was going to happen, but I wouldn't doubt it at all because this stuff is being declassified. And when this starts happening, the truth starts getting out and crap's hitting the fan. I mean, that's common sense. So
in these countries it is. So
yes, very much.
So that other one that I had that I wanted to put up there, this says Nancy Pelosi says that members involved in the Capitol siege may be prosecuted. Now, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, well, I guess she's saying, come get me. Hey, I'm guilty, come get me. Because, buddy, if there's anybody involved in it, I can promise you it's her.
Right. I think what she's saying is that they're going to go after the Republicans because, we all know that they were Republicans that were involved in that. I don't have that video up anymore, but I had the video of the gentleman who was filming himself in the Capitol doing some of the destructive thing he's done. I played that on earlier today.
And he works with Anderson Cooper at CNN.
Yeah, right. That young lady from CNN was there with him. And I also have a video of him dressed up in Antifa guard getting instructions on how to be Antifa Black Bloc. Yeah. So
yeah, they've got, and he was saying, hey, don't worry, we're going to delete this. Well, didn't get deleted, buddy.
Nope.
And they got their butt in a cat. I mean, they got them.
And again, the conspiracy theory time. They have the ability, if you're live streaming, to record that live and store that away and use it against you later on. So here we are.
Well, they're too stupid to even know it.
Yeah. So all the evidence was his own. So, yes. So any other major details that came out of that meeting that you had?
Let me scroll through here. I'm looking
I got a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Rumors had it coming from me in different directions that there was Chinese forces on our borders. Is that?
Yeah. Well, now that's what they said. They said that there were 75,000 Chinese troops on the Canadian border up in Vancouver, Washington, on the West Coast. They said that, this is hard to believe, but they said that there was another like 200,000, 250,000 in Mexico.
250,000 in Mexico? I heard like 60,000.
Okay, let me check my notes.
I may be wrong.
I want to check this. Okay. Let me see here. I'm looking. Okay, hold on. Be patient, folks.
That's
You're
okay.
you're dealing with Brad, not Mike. If you ever watch mine, I'm liable to have a camera accident here in just a
when I
minute.
have something going on like this, I can just pop up a little. I can just pop up a little screen and
right.
cover it up. See that?
Here's what it says. Here's what it says. Okay, I'm gonna read it to you. There are now 250,000 Chinese troops surrounding us. 75,000 in Canada and the rest in Mexico. The general said if they set foot in this country, they will be wiped out swiftly, as we are ready. I know this sounds scary, but hang on, everything will be fine. POTUS was at the wall in Texas yesterday, so this was a few days ago, was a signal to let China know he means business and as a sign that he is in charge. He will be getting in front of the people to produce the evidence so the people know he is the real elected president, as I was saying a while ago. So again, they're saying that's what, and basically what I've been told is basically the only way these troops would come in is if Biden was inaugurated and elected, whatever. And,
Right.
But that's not happening. So it's nothing to worry about.
On that subject right there, just playing devil's advocate with you. There was a Gateway pundit story just as I was getting ready to come on here that said that Donald Trump plans to not attend inauguration and leave town before it's over. So they're saying he's bugging out.
He's going to Florida. I mean, there's an article showing them packing up, I guess, or something, unloading stuff. And then other people said, man, that was from months ago or whatever.
Right.
But even if it is them, again, you don't show your cards. You've got to play along with the act. I mean, do you really think is there anybody, let me go back to this. Forget me and you. Is there anybody in this country, left or right, that would believe that Donald J. Trump, would provide 25,000 troops to secure Joe Biden's inauguration? I want you to think about that.
There's going to be more troops there than there are people, and it's supposed to be online or not online. Was it
live?
No, they're not. They're going to do it.
Virtual.
Virtual. That's the word I was looking for. Man, that was on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, they're going to do a virtual inauguration. They're going to be like 6 people in circles or in their cars or something. They're going to have some brand new cars from the Dodge dealership parked in a parking lot somewhere, and it's going to be virtual. And so, what do we need all this for? The guy could bring out a crowd if he tried.
I mean, think, people, for crying in the night. Can you use your common sense God gave you? This doesn't make any sense.
Ain't very common anymore. No, but
it's not.
People, and I'm on YouTube. I've got almost 200 views, which is, I do not promote YouTube because I didn't think I'd be on there very long. So that is really good because I really don't get but 30, 40 views on YouTube.
Right.
So that's all you.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it's tough. When they kicked us off Facebook for 30 days and we went to YouTube, we lost at least half of our viewers. Now we're just getting it. We were just getting it back to, I think the last 2 YouTubes we had were like 11,000 people on there. And then they cut that off, cut us off, demonetized us. They did everything. So now I went back to Facebook Live.
Right.
Because I hadn't checked my Facebook tonight, but I'm probably like you. I'm probably kicked off of that too by now.
Probably.
So we'll try to find another one.
They think they're hurting our feelings because they're demonetizing us. Well, the first thing they have to do with me is monetize me for me to feel it.
Yeah.
So I ain't making a dime. This is all on my dime anyway. I ain't making nothing. So it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Well, these people getting on there saying all kind of stuff, saying, "Oh, he's just doing this for clicks and all this stuff and make money." And I'm like, first of all, we're not monetized, and secondly, you don't make money on Facebook. So if I'm doing this for money, brother, I'm in trouble.
Right. Yeah, there's other ways to make money. This ain't the way to do it. We ain't nearly that big or that pretty for that matter. So
that's right.
So I got the face for radio.
But you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, I was gonna say it about me, not you.
Either way, it's good. So, Any other enlightening thoughts that we can have? Motivational. I know you're a coach, or used to be a coach, still a coach. Not a coach. You're a coach because you want to be now, not because you have to be. Yeah, that's it. So
yeah. Well,
tell people out there, I'm going to share this thing all over Facebook, all over Rumble. It's going to be in 5 or 6 different places once I get it uploaded from being stored on my computer, because it's recorded right now.
Right. I want to make sure, before I go there, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything that's huge off of this, Mike. I want to give the folks here. Also there was here's something that was interesting. A couple of days ago, we saw executive orders for disaster relief in Louisiana, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Utah. Most of these things happened 6 months ago with a hurricane or whatever. Why are they doing it now? I can tell you why. It's to move troops into place. It is. I mean, and anybody with half of a brain can understand that. Okay.
I did see the executive orders where he limited the securities with the anything connected to the Chinese military.
Right.
Interested.
Right. That's exactly right.
And while you're looking for your things, let me give you a thought on that real quick, what just went through my mind. How did Zuckerberg, how did Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, how did they become billion-dollar companies overnight? You ever thought about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
The same way in the same kind of scheme that Hunter Biden got paid from the Chinese. They set up a shell company and they bought the stock. All them stocks shot up because to billions of dollars, because Chinese companies are buying them. So,
and it was produced by the CIA, in my opinion.
Well,
this was.
I've heard that, but I have absolutely no proof of that.
I don't either. I'm just saying what
I usually don't run with that one because I have no idea. Right. I would be surprised. And now, guess what? Here's my face and all the things I like and what I like to do. Look, here's my guns. You're just telling them everything you got.
Exactly.
Anyway,
exactly.
But my point of that is their stock is tied up with the Chinese. They wanted to enter that market, and they sold their souls to the Chinese. And now if you're in that market in China, you're part of the Communist Chinese military, because that's the way it works. You don't get to go over there unless you are.
That's right.
So when
they're in charge of everything, and
so these security, which are stocks and bonds, executive orders are going to affect them in a big way. Sorry to interrupt you. It's just something that I've been thinking.
No, that's exactly right. And so that makes them an accomplice at the least. And I think there are a lot more than accomplices. They are tied in with the Chinese government, and they're all going down. He's bringing the whole thing down, Mike. I'm telling you, people think I'm crazy. And you know me, you've heard me talk before in business and other things. I really don't care what other people think. They don't pay my bills, so they don't really have an opinion. Their opinion doesn't really count now, does it?
That's right.
So they're all going down. POTUS is bringing the whole disease corrupt system down, and we're fixing to see some big things happen over the next few days here. I'm telling you right now, all the lies are going to be revealed, just like Lynn Wood says. That's what the Word of God says. The lies will be revealed, and the outcome is going to be glorious. And we're just beginning to see things right now, but it's going to get real hot around in about 3 or 4 days. And what I'd like to see happen, I don't know, but I would love to see all of these folks in DC inside that fence, and then
camp
with Biden holding his hand up, and about that time Trump walks up there like a boss and slaps it on him, the handcuffs. Oh man, I'd pay $1,000 to see that.
I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen that way. Just saying, I'm probably going to want to be separated from this. Let the guys, the military guys and the police guys do their job. He probably wants to not be involved.
That's true, but it would make a good movie. It'd make a good show.
Man. Like Columbo come walking. Well, one more question.
That's right. The 19th is National Popcorn Day.
Yeah, I actually shared your meme. I actually have that. Did I take it down? Oh, I took it off. I actually had that. I put it up in one of my videos. I took a screenshot, your meme,
Yeah,
and put it up.
yeah. Everything I've ever gotten, I stole from other people, brother.
Well, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the way I do
So
it. So
yeah. So I just tell the people. I mean, if I've got any encouraging words, it's to hold the line. You've got to be patient. There's a plan in place. POTUS knows what he's doing. He didn't get this far, and he's not walking away either. Okay. I mean, do you really think someone that knows they will hunt him down, he will be dead or stringed up within a week, within an hour? Okay. He's not walking away. He did this for us, first of all. Okay. And second of all, he's got kids and grandkids and great grandkids. I promise you, he's got it under control. He's never failed us yet, and I don't think he's going to fail us now. So we've got to have the confidence and the faith in that, and we also have to have the faith that God has put him in a place. I've always said this from a Christian perspective, as a person of faith. There's no one that could have put up. I don't know anyone that could have ever have put up with what he's had to put up with for the last 5 years, and do what he's done. It's impossible. No man's that tough. And so God has given him the strength and put him in that position. I don't care what anybody says. You'll never get me not to believe that. And God's got us. It's going to be okay.
yes.
But we're going to have to exercise some discipline and some faith and some patience.
Boy, it's hard to be patient though, man, because we're coming down the wires, getting real close. It's like, whoo,
I know it.
We're down to the nubs here.
Yeah, but you know what? Isn't that the way God always works, Mike?
Yes, this is true.
If you look in the Word, the same thing happened to the Israelites at the Red Sea. They were coming down upon them. They were breathing down their necks, and God didn't do it until the last second. That way, it's no other way that He can't get the glory. And
that's right.
And the thing I'd tell people say, well, Brad, do you really? I mean, my own dad keeps asking me, do you really believe this is going to happen? I said, yes, Dad, I really believe it. Now, none of us are God. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't know for sure that the plan's going to work. I mean, only God knows that. Okay. But if you're asking me what I believe to be the truth of what's going to happen, yes, I believe it 100%. But I do know this, and I'll leave your viewers with this. Unless you want to ask some more questions, I'll answer them.
Okay.
The Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, you can throw us in there if you want to in the fire, but we're not going to deny our God. We're not going to kneel to your idol. But they said, and our God is sufficient to rescue us. But even if he doesn't, we will not kneel to your statue or whatever.
Even if he doesn't.
Even if he doesn't. And so, and of course, you know what happened. You know the rest of the story.
Right.
There was four people walking around in there, and one was shining like the Son of God, it said. And so, even if this is not God's will for some reason, and I don't believe that. But regardless, if we know who we are in Christ Jesus, we're going to be fine. People need to quit worrying and start resting in their faith and in Jesus.
Absolutely. That's where it is, and
but we're kicking Biden's butt.
Yeah. Go back to your analogy of Egypt. And one of the things I always point out to people, because there may be some folks on here now on YouTube that watch you and not me. So I'll just give you a different perspective, a different thought. If you go back a little further to Joseph, it was Joseph and the multicolored. Yeah.
Right.
I get all the J guys mixed up. And
yeah.
I call them the house boys, my shack, your shack, and a bungalow. But
yeah, there you go. But yeah, look at what happened to Joseph.
Yeah, you go back to Joseph, right? So he goes over there. I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but he ends up becoming second in charge because he was able to interpret the Pharaoh's dreams. Right. He brought his whole family down. That's how the Israelites got there. 400 years later, a Pharaoh arose that didn't know Joseph and didn't know Joseph's God, and they were really bad to them. But you got to understand that under Joseph, when the famine was there, the people came from all over. It wasn't just there. It wasn't just Egypt, but the famine was everywhere. It was a whole known world at the time. And they came from everywhere, and they came to Joseph to buy food. And first they gave him their money. Then they gave him their livestock. Then they gave him their land. And Joseph was for the Pharaoh. He was a slave still. He just was second in charge. So everything they gave was to Pharaoh. Then they gave them themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Pharaoh owned the whole known world, lock, stock, and barrel down to the people. So when the new Pharaoh arose, he owned the people.
Right.
He owned everything. The world order at the time was everybody was subject to Pharaoh.
That's right.
And then when Israel saved, or God saved Israel with Moses and parted the Red Sea, he didn't just save Israel, he saved the world. He destroyed the world order of things because the Israels walked across on dry land. And what did the Pharaoh do? We got him now, and he charged on ahead.
That's right.
Familiar. Right on into the water. The water fell on top of, killed them all, killed not just the Pharaoh, but all of his princes, all of his generals, all of his armies. And now the boot of Pharaoh was off of the world.
That's right.
And that's
and
what
I believe
right
you're,
now.
yeah, you know, God could have rescued them. I mean, they stood at the shore out there for a long time. But he didn't. He waited until they would be baited to come into the sea. And that's when he, boom. And, you know, praise God. I hope that's what he's got for this, baiting them to bring them in there, bring them into DC right there with the big encampment. And then, hey, we got you all in one spot now.
And bam, let's hope. Let's hope. You know, all the prophets were saying that God's going to do something. So I know you listen to some Kim Clement, you know, impeach, but nay, and he says it twice, and here we are. Right. So,
hey, brother, I'm sticking with God. They can stick with whoever they want to. I'm sticking with the word.
That's right. That's right. That's where we're at. So I'm pretty fired up about it, just being excited about what's going to happen because we're watching world events that haven't happened. You can't hear me?
I can't hear you, Mike.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I can still hear you. Doggone it. Well, we're about done anyways. I don't know why you can't hear me. Everything's still on. I hope everybody else can hear me.
Maybe you can type a message and I can type it back. I can't hear the word you're saying.
Is yours plugged in? Are you?
You can hear me, right?
Are you plugged in? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can't. It's like it was before we went live with the when you're talking. All I hear is that.
How about now?
Okay, it says the host has unmuted my mic.
Yeah, I was playing around with it, trying to make it go. So let's sign off. We'll just call it good. I appreciate you jumping on. I really do appreciate it. You guys, we're going to call this quits. He doesn't know what I'm saying, so
don't speak Chinese.
He doesn't know what I'm saying, so I'm just going to flip this around and pull this up and come back to here, and we'll just
don't speak Chinese.
He says he don't speak Chinese.
Me no understand. If you say it real loud and real slow, it helps them to understand, Mike.
I'm going to mute him. Anyways, you guys have a great day. I'm going to jump off here. Please share this video. Facebook has muted me. I can't post. I've made it. I've made the big time. You guys have a good one. Hey, check me out on Rumble because at least you're free on Rumble. I will talk to you all later.